The purpose of a stock dividend distribution is for a corporation to distribute additional shares of its stock to its current shareholders. And that's it. That's the whole point in a stock dividend distribution. And so there are two different types of stock dividends. You have a small stock dividend, which is a distribution of 25% or less of previously outstanding shares. And you have a large stock dividend, which is a distribution of more than 25% of previously outstanding shares. So in this scenario here, we have on October 3rd, the directors declared a 40% stock dividend distributable on October 27th to the stockholders of Gumbo Corporation. So this 40% here, this is an example of a large stock dividend. All right, so the market value of the stock is $70 per share. And this is before the stock dividend occurred. Okay, so from Gumbo's stockholders equity section that's shown below, we're going to have to prepare entries to record both the dividend declaration and its distribution. So below here, this is our equity section of the corporation. We have our common stock here. So it tells us that it's $15 par value, 160,000 shares authorized. We don't really care about the shares that are authorized. What we care about is this here that's underlined, the shares that are issued and outstanding of 75,000. Okay, that's what we care about. So the total stockholders' equity here is 2.325 million. So the first thing we need to do is record the dividend declaration, and the dividend declaration occurred on October 3rd. So when you have a stock dividend, you are taking a portion of what is recorded in retained earnings. So in this case, we have 700,000 here. Okay, we're taking a portion of that, and we're just going to transfer it to the contributed capital account, which is the equity account. So retained earnings is an equity account. Contributed capital is another equity account. That's it. So it's pretty much just you transferring some of what's in the earnings account, retained earnings account, into a common stock account. So that's exactly what we're doing here. So retained earnings here is going to be debited for 2.1 million. And that's taking the $70 market value, which was shown up here in the scenario, $70 per share. That's the market value. And we're going to multiply it by 30,000. So where's 30,000 coming from? So 30,000 is coming from taking 40%, which is the stock dividend, and we're multiplying it by the shares that are issued and outstanding, because that's what we care about. Okay, that's going to give us 30,000 shares. So when we take 30,000 and multiply by $70 market value, that's going to give us $2.1 million. This $2.1 million is decreasing the balance in the retained earnings account. Okay, it is decreasing the balance in that account. Okay, so the first account that's going to be credited is going to be an account called common stock distributable, because this is a stock dividend distribution. So we're going to credit that account by $15 par. Okay, that's the par value here shown in the equity section. We're going to multiply by the 30,000 shares, which is the 40% of 75,000 shares that are issued and outstanding. And that's going to give us $450,000 here. Okay, that's going to increase the balance in that account. Okay, so when we take 2.1 million, subtract out 450,000, that's going to be our difference here, which is going to get recorded or credited to additional paid in capital dash common stock. And that's 1.65 million. That's also going to increase the balance in that account. So notice here that all three of these accounts, these are equity accounts. Okay, this entry here is to account for the stock dividend as a declaration. So this is the board actually making a declaration. So again, there's no payment that's being exchanged here. This is only affecting the equity accounts. Okay, so we also have to record the distribution here. That's the second and last thing that we need to do. Record the distribution. So on October 27th, which is when the distribution occurred, we're going to now debit common stock distributable. Okay, so we're going to debit that account by $450,000, and that's taking the $15 par multiplied by 30,000 shares that are issued, which is taking 40% of 75,000. So when we debit common stock distributable, that's going to decrease the balance in that account. So essentially what you're doing is you're going to eliminate or cancel out the entry that was made on October 3rd to the common stock distributable account, which is a credit to 450,000. So I'm going to put an X here just so that we know that this debit of 450,000 is eliminating the credit of 450,000 to common stock distributable on October 3rd. Okay, and all you're doing is just going to move that balance into the common stock account. And that's going to increase the balance in that common stock account by crediting it by $450,000. Okay, so again, these two here, these two accounts, these are equity accounts. That's it. So you're just taking a portion of the money from retained earnings here. You're transferring it into the common stock and also additional paid in capital common stock accounts.